Hi, my name is Wilma Castillo, and I am here with Howard Knepper, who is running for U.S. Senate as a Republican for the state of Florida. Thank you so much for being here today and for inviting me to your corporate office. Now, I wanted to ask you a few questions regarding Black Lives Matters. I know that everybody's been talking about it regarding what's been happening, the killings. A lot of people are afraid, and I just wanted to ask you, what are your views? And what do you think should be done about it? What should we be doing differently?
Well, that's a good question, and it's very important. Right now, it's at the heart of America. I've always said for many, many years that civil rights have not moved fast enough. I think that Martin Luther King, if he were alive, he would feel the same way. There have been recent days, there's been some comments from one particular mayor. It's not important to mention his name. He's devoted good service to our country, but he may have said some statements that he just didn't think through. That's my opinion. He has his own. But do Black lives matter? Well, you bet they do. And so do everybody's lives matter. You know, white lives, Latin, it doesn't matter whose life it is, it matters. But specifically, I do believe that if you're Black, you do have a reason to be concerned in many situations. And for somebody to say that, you know, Black lives matter, but do they care about crime, is absurdity. Okay, now Black matters do, Black lives do matter. And there is a prejudiced situation towards the Black African American. There's no question about that. Nobody can deny that. Okay, so we have to work on that matter. And so we have to care about all lives matter. White people, Latin people, we have a problem. Now I know I have some ideas that could help perhaps fix this problem with the police towards all people and be able to help the public feel better about the police. I don't believe that I would want to lay this out now because it's something very important. I think it could really help the entire atmosphere between the police, who we know are so important to us. They also are important that they keep us safe, but we do have some problems with isolated instances. So I'd rather not lay that out right here and now. It's very important, and I don't want it to be delivered in a way that's not at the right forum at the right time. But I can tell you that it's a real issue. And if you're Black and I could just imagine how you would feel if you were stereotyped and profiled. And we've seen it happen with Latins as well. And it is an issue that we cannot just sweep under the table. The way to really deal with this, and we're back to Congress again, instead of, they need to come up with people that have ideas to fix the problem, and it has to be thought through. And as I said, at the appropriate time, I'll lay out my ideas, and I believe it will help bring together the police with the community, and it'll make everybody safer, and I think it will really make a difference. And in the meantime, everybody needs to remember to protest peacefully. This is important, to protest peacefully, but it's a serious issue, and I can understand where the Black community would be upset, and I also understand the police. They also are at risk when they go out there every day of their lives. So it's a complex issue, but we can resolve it, and I think that a discussion about this in the future needs to be done, and as soon as possible.
Now let me ask you something. You mentioned earlier about a mayor making some statements that were prejudiced. Would that mean...
No, excuse me, I never said they were prejudiced.
Okay.
What I meant was he made some statements the last couple of days, and I believe that he should have probably, in my opinion, simply thought out what he said. I said the opposite. I don't think he's prejudiced.
Okay.
What I think is that his comments would come off for sure being prejudiced. And, we all make mistakes, and I think that, sometimes some people speak too quickly, and then they want to come back and try to make it right, but But, you know, somebody can make a statement too quickly, and, you know, it's okay for a person to retract it and say, okay, you know, I made a mistake. But that's not for him to decide to do that. That's up to him.
Now I have a question for you. Without mentioning his name, what were some of the statements that were made? Because I'm sure not everybody knows what happened.
Well, you know, I mean, a statement, for instance, and maybe other people have made it too. Again, I don't want to single him out. But he made a statement where Black Lives Matter, but what about crime? You know, and I think what he was alluding to is that, you know, that black people create crime. Okay, so therefore, you know, that he was singling out black people. This is absurdity.
Of course.
It's absolutely absurdity. That's where we're back to profiling again. Black people. I mean, white people create crimes every day. I mean, everybody creates crime. And we're going to stereotype black people because some black people have crime. That's absurdity. Okay, crime is all over the country from every single nationality and religion. It doesn't matter what it is. So I disagree with him, and I think it's not right to profile anybody. It's clear enough.
Correct. Now, as far as now that we're on the subject, what do you think should be done differently with those committing the crime? For example, in this case, it was a police officer killing an innocent life. What do you think should be done? Because as of right now, nobody has been convicted. Everybody has been released while getting paid. I mean, it's not like they're cutting off their payment. They're being released. They're not allowing them to police anymore, but they're still getting paid. What do you think should be done differently? Or do you think they're doing a good job at just letting them go while still paying them?
Well, you know, that's something not for me to really say. What I will tell you is it's important for everybody to get a fair trial. Okay, so when you say that the person was innocent, we don't necessarily know that. But having said that, I think it's important that every police officer deserves a trial, just like everybody else. And it's not. I don't think we should prejudge. Let the jury eventually come out with that final verdict. But
it's not getting to that point. They're not being brought to a jury. They're pretty much just been released, still paid, but nothing is.
Well,
and I'm speaking like the people are seeing this now. I'm just pretty much saying what we're seeing in the news.
Well, there's a process to indict a police officer.
Correct.
And once a person is not indicted, that's nothing that we can do that as the public. I mean, we certainly can discuss it. We can peacefully protest about it. But if a decision is made, the only other place that a person can go or people can go is to the federal government. We have a U.S. Attorney's Office, the Justice Department. They can bring charges. So there is a way that a person that's been, as you stated, is still working, maybe not out in a police car, and they're still getting paid. But if they've been let go, they have not been indicted. There are, as I said, they can be looked at by the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Justice Department. There's other higher levels in the federal government. But at the end of the road, we have to accept the final verdict, either way it goes. When I say verdict, if it ends at the state level and just doesn't go any further, we must continue to discuss it. And as I said, there's a plan that I have in mind that I think would work and help tremendously, but we have to have peaceful protesting, have discussion about it, and keep trying to fix the problem so we have less lives lost on both sides, the police and the public.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For sharing your views with us.
My pleasure.
Looking forward to hearing more from Mr. Howard Knepper, again running for U.S. Senate as a Republican for the state of Florida.